Hey, Algebra 1. So on Friday, we started talking about how to multiply binomials. And we're going to recap that here today because we did not get to a few special cases. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to see how we use these multiplications in context. And then your homework will be 3 multiplication problems and 3 application problems. This document here that I'm going to be editing is going to be available to you as a resource. And I am actually going to just type my work in here because I'm pretty comfortable with the equation editor. If you want to use that, if you want to play around with it, that is wonderful. It keeps things neat for me. Otherwise, type the way that you normally do. So looking at this first one, we are going to multiply. And some of you like the box method and some of you like the double distrib method. Either which way, we're going to end up multiplying 5x by 6x. And so that's going to give us 30x squared. And then, sorry, that should not be a plus. So then the 5x times the negative 1, I guess I should move with my mouse instead of my finger here. So 5x times negative 1, because we are multiplying the outer terms here. So that would be minus 5x because 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, and then check on the x. Then the two middle terms is 2 and 6x. Both of those are positive, so that would be plus 12x. And then the last two terms are 2 and negative 1. And 2 times, everything is multiplied here. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Our next line then would read after we combine the two middle terms here. See how this has an x squared and this doesn't have any x's at all. It means that we can only combine the two middle terms, and that's the way it's going to be. So it's going to be 30x squared, and then I know it says negative 5x plus 12, but I can't wrap my head around that most of the time. So I'm going to think about 12 minus 5. And so 12 minus 5 is a positive 7x. Sorry, because both of those had x on the term. And then minus 2. And then that's it. I have my first squared term, I have my middle x term, and I have my last term that has no variable at all. Okay, so this next one is one of those special cases. This, a lot of times I have students who say x minus 4 squared is x squared minus 16, because you just square both of the interior terms, right? No, definitely not right. Let me get my whiteboard out for this one. What this actually means, there you are. What this actually means is not x minus 4, where it's x squared minus 4 squared. This is absolutely wrong. This is absolutely wrong. What this means is x minus 4 times itself. Okay? So let me type this up for you. This actually means x minus 4 times x minus 4. And that is the number one mistake that Algebra 1 students make. It doesn't matter if they're in 8th grade or if they're in their sophomore year, that is the number one mistake that people make. That exponent rule does not apply when there is a minus or a plus between the two terms inside the parentheses. So here we go. This actually means that term, the whole x minus 4, times itself. So, mouse, right. X times x then is going to be x squared, and then negative 4, dang it, I did that pointing with my finger again. I'm sorry, x times negative 4 is going to be minus 4x. Uh-oh, I'm out of my little box. Minus 4x. And then the two middle terms, negative 4 times x is another negative 4x. And then negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. All right. Second biggest mistake is that people look at this and see negative 4x minus 4x. Well, they're negatives, right? So like they cancel out. Again, not how that works. So it's going to be x squared minus 8x, because you're already down 4, and then you go down another 4, and then plus 16. So there's that. All right. This third one here is also very interesting. This one says 2x plus 9 times 2x minus 9. And this is going to be very important here in a couple of days whenever we're trying to undo the multiplication here, when we call that factoring. So when we start seeing that, this special case, it's going to be very, very cool. Anyway, so I definitely wanted to introduce you to this before we saw it done. So again, we're going to multiply the two first terms. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And then 2x times negative 9 is negative 18x. And then positive 9 times 2x is plus 18x. And 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. Now looking here, we do have a negative 18x and a positive 18x. Those two will eliminate. So we will have 4x squared plus 0x minus 81. Now, of course, 0x, that's not a thing. And so we just get rid of that middle term. It all cancels out. And we are left with 4x squared minus 81. All right, I'm trying to see how much time I have because I want to make sure that I talk about your homework page here in a minute, but I can't find the timer, so that's okay. So this last one right here, it says 3x plus 7 quantity squared. And again, that's just like number 2, where we need to recognize that this is not 9x squared plus 49. That is not how this squared stuff works when you have two terms in a binomial. So we need to multiply this by itself. 3x plus 7 times 3x plus 7. All right. And so then we are going to see 3x times 3x is 9x squared. That first term is always going to be squared unless, these are already squared. But anyway, when you've just got the single variable, it's going to be a squared term there. And then 3x times 7 is going to be plus 21x. 7 times 3x is plus 21x. And then 7 times 7 is positive 49. Okay. Last step, combine the two middle terms. Okay, so we're going to have 9x squared plus 42x plus 49. There it is. And then that is the end of our multiplication. That is our final answer there. Okay, so now let's use this multiplication. Usually whenever we're using the binomial multiplication, we are using it to find area of some kind of two-dimensional figure. So here we're looking at parallelogram. And the parallelogram has an area formula of base times height, and that is perpendicular height. And so the area here would be the base, which is 2x minus 6, and then times the height, and that perpendicular height is x minus 2. And then we would say that the area is 2x times x is 2x squared. And then 2x times negative 2 is minus 4x. And then negative 6 times x is negative 6x. And negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. And so then that means that the area could be written as a single expression, a single simplified expression, as 2x squared minus 10x plus 12. Alrighty, so there's the hide button. So that's this one right here. how we can use this is if we know what x is, then we can just plug it into this formula really quick and get the area in square feet or square inches or whatever really fast. Now, let's look at your homework problems. Up here, very simple, same as what we just did. This one, the area of the triangle, there is one of these terms on here that is throwing you off on purpose. So remember, the area formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times the perpendicular height. So remember that. Show your work, so just type it here in this text box. A word problem: if the width of a rectangle is 6 more than twice its length. Wow. This one I am going to give you a little bit of a hint. This one will end up being just the length times the expression, I don't know, 5L plus 7. Totally making that up because the numbers are given there to you. And so here you would just distribute it one time. That would be the area. The perimeter, remember, goes around the outside. So you'll need to be able to combine your like terms there. This last one, find the area of the shaded region and show your work. There are 2 different rectangles here. And just the area of the shaded region, I mean, this white part here is cut out. And cut out means taken away from. And I feel like there's a math word for that, but I'm not going to give you too many spoilers here. I want you to think about it, okay? When you go to add and subtract trinomials or quadratics, stuff that looks like this, you need to combine your like terms. And so real quick, if we were going to subtract, let's say 2x squared, because it's sitting right here, minus 10x, minus 10x plus 12, minus, I don't know, x squared plus 7, x minus 8. There we go. Well, not 78, just 8. Okay. If we were going to do that, there's a couple things that we have to watch out for. So let me move this to the next line so that it doesn't get cut off. There we go. And let me edit this. There we go. If we were going to do that, then we would need to distribute this negative to every single piece over here because we are subtracting the entire trinomial. So this would be 2x squared minus 10x plus 12 minus x squared minus 7x, because negative times positive 7x, okay? And then plus 8, because again, distributing this negative makes a positive. And then we would just combine our like terms. So I actually want to see if I can do this. Nope, I can't. Lame. You know what? Let me copy it. Super lame. All right, whatever. I'm just going to stack that underneath there like that. Ah! Okay. One more time. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to stack it underneath there like that. 2x squared minus x squared is just going to be 1x squared, or x squared. And then negative 10x minus 7 is negative 17x. And then positive 12 plus 8 is going to be, oh, sorry, I already have the plus 20. And so that's how we add and subtract these things. You have, and you saw how I did that. I just moved this over to the next line and subtracted it. But all you're doing is combining your like terms here, okay? And so that's going to be a valuable skill for that last problem. If you have any questions at all, please chat with me on the Google Hangouts or send me an email. I'll be monitoring my Google all day until like 3 o'clock, and then I got some other things to do, but I got my phone on me and all of my stuff goes to my phone. Thanks, guys. You have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.